Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are doing a little bit longer game this time. I checked the game length this time and yeah, I'm still not going to get spoiled too much. But this is a longer game at least. Between EmpireKas as the Terran in the bottom right corner in red and NOMGiantt or Giant T as the Zerg in the top left corner. So he is the blue, and I don't know if these are the actual colors or it's the same. Okay, it's all good. Anyhow, it is Terran versus Zerg, so that normally means a lot of Marines and a lot of Zerglings. And of course the Zerglings will be substituted by, oh come on, roaches. And then the Marines will be substituted by, come on, I can't remember the names. Marauders, of course. Yeah, from Marines you go to Marauders. And yeah, we will see from there. So since I already know this is going to be a longer game, it kind of spoils already the beginning, because I know that nothing much will come of the beginning harassment. That will undoubtedly come, at least. I mean, that's what people do. And we see a fast expansion over here. No expansion yet here, so normally the Zerg is a little bit quicker on that. But in this case, yeah, not so much. That was kind of surprising, to be honest, because hatcheries only cost 300 minerals, whereas command centers cost 400 minerals. So he has a full 100 minerals more, and yeah, I don't know how. I mean, the overlord that he created is the same amount of minerals as this supply depot, but the supply depot also takes away one of your drones, or sorry, one of your SCVs for the duration of building that. So not really sure how that happened, but I am sure that we will never find out. No, not this game in any case. Yeah. Anyhow, the scout going out, the SCV scouts by the Terran player, and he is going to scout all of these bases. Wants to know if this base is up, and he will indeed see that this base is up. So he is building 2 orbital commands here for those mules, and he will indeed see that this base is up. So now he's going to scout this one, and actually satisfied with just scouting over here. Although if it's still in production, I don't think he would have seen that. But yeah, he knows this base is up, so he doesn't have to doubt that. And this base is of course up because it's the starting location. Maybe he was wondering whether that was the starting location of the Zerg, so the bottom left. Not actually sure. They are cross positions, so I'm not actually sure if that is forced or not. Maybe it's yeah, it's just a coincidence that they're cross positions. That could be it. But yeah, bunker is going down. Our second bunker is also going down. So yeah, if you build a bunker, you only lose 25 minerals, and because you can reclaim the rest. And is this actually? This seems to be in range of that hatchery, but he will need some more Zerglings to actually get this snipe off on the bunker. Oh, yeah, there are the extra Zerglings, and wow, so many Zerglings all of a sudden. And is he going to immediately get back the money for that? No, he's going to put down 1 Marine in each of the bunkers. And wow, it actually works out for him. So, this wasn't even a Marine. So yeah, he is going to try to kill this hatchery from his bunker, and it will take a long time. It will probably never fully get the hatchery, but at least he will forces the production of all of these Zerglings. So 8 Zerglings produced here, and yeah, 6 more over there. So they are going to attempt to snipe these Marines and these bunkers. The bunkers actually dying after the Marines have already died, and that was a kind of a mistake on the Terran player, because he probably didn't intend his Marines to die before the bunkers actually went down, because normally you want the bunker to die first. But anyhow, this way he lost 200 minerals because he didn't reclaim the bunkers. And yeah, all in all, it's still worth it. I think he should have just gotten back the minerals for the bunkers and then ran out when he still had the chance, because he killed quite a lot of Zerglings. And then once he forced the production of those Zerglings, which was immediately afterwards, he could have retreated with his troops still intact, and yeah, could have saved him some minerals. Especially because you can reclaim the bunkers like he's doing now, and that way, yeah, you salvage your bunker. You get 75 minerals out of the 100. It used to be 100 out of the 100, but that was a little bit overpowered, I guess. And yeah, now they kind of made it like this. So we have one Marauder and a handful of Marines, 10 in fact. And it seems that this base is up and running, but it's going to have to lift off. The SCV gets sniped. Fortunately for him, there's only one SCV there. But the Zerg player keeping an eye on that. Yeah, he is going to send a Zergling out here to keep an eye on that base, and the Terran player is just happily building in his base and going to build a reactor on this one. Probably going to build a reactor on this one as well. I'm not really sure what his plans are here. Currently has 3 factories. One with a tech lab, one with a reactor, and one without anything. And it seems he's building a whole lot of these Hellions. And yeah, by building a lot of Hellions, he kind of says that he wants to go aggressive, because Hellions are only good against 2 units really, the Zerglings and drones. And since there aren't a whole lot of Zerglings on the field, he is going for that. Wow, he's actually going for the pre-igniter, which is the blue flame on the Hellions, which makes them even more effective against those small units. But yeah, the amount of Hellions here kind of tells me that he wants to go aggressive on the drones. So he wants to push all in and just see how many drone kills he can get. And here are the drones. They are going to try to run away. They're actually going to manage to run away for now, but yeah, they do get spotted by the Hellions. The Hellions are going to toast all of them, and yeah, really nothing he can do about that. Could of course have gotten Burrow as a skill there, and that would have allowed him to save all of his drones. The drones over here going to hide as well, leaving a few of them to get killed. Hopes, of course. Oh, and the blue flame does upgrade, and yeah, he's hoping that all of the units will now get killed, but with decent micro he will be able to snipe all of these banelings. Okay, gets most of them, but not all of them. The hatchery does survive, 3 of the drones do survive, and yeah, he's going well, the Zerg player is going aggressive with the rest of his units. But there are more and more of these Hellions incoming, and the Hellions are very dangerous when they have that pre-igniter, that blue flame, because of course they do a lot of damage now, and it's all AoE damage, so it doesn't matter how many units you send at it. If you only have Zerglings and Banelings, they're not going to be effective. You need higher tier units. You need like yeah, infestors. That would be good. Or well, better would be the come on, where are they? Oh, never mind. The roaches would be a lot better against these guys, because roaches don't take that much damage from the Hellions. The Hellions get extra damage, as you can see, 9 damage, but versus light units 21. So that is a whole lot extra, and yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to abuse, because, well, units like the Zerglings and like the drones are light units, and wow, lots of Banelings are also light, by the way. At least I'm assuming they are. I don't know. No, it has to stand there, or, well, be written there. Otherwise they aren't light, apparently. And yeah, 5 of them do get out. So Banelings are not light units. Okay. So they do take less damage from these guys. Of course, the armored units, like roaches, are just a lot better. But anyway, he's going to try it with infestors. The infestors are out. Well, the infestation pit is out, and he is going to upgrade first and then build them, because this one gives you 25 more energy when they spawn, and you of course want to use that as much as possible. So yeah, it seems that there are Thors out now, and Thors are, or can be, really efficient against Zerg units, but sometimes they just suck balls. Sometimes they just don't do anything. And sniping another creep tumor there. And it seems that yeah, the base hasn't been rebuilt by the Terran player. He is flying it over here, but yeah, not able to land over there. The one Marine going to chase away the Overlord, he might actually kill it, because Marines have pretty decent damage, and Overlords, yeah, they are really slow at flying away. So, might work, who knows. Oh, the Infestor getting the fungal growth off, and yeah, this is going to be really painful, because the Infestors are going to do a lot of damage, and the Thors actually getting taken out by the Infestors as well as the Zerglings. Zerglings still not very effective, and the Infestors are going to yeah, they are going to have to retreat. They did quite a lot of damage there, but not enough to actually well, wipe out the army far enough to, well, do damage to the SCVs or anything like that. But he is coming in with a new wave of Zerglings. The Zerglings, once again, not very effective against the Hellions, but they are effective against the Thors, and semi-effective against the Marines, because there are so many of them, and they can just overrun the Marines. So he is trying to get a good positioning here. So at least the new base is going down, and 4 bases for the Zerg player, 3 for the Terran, and wow, we actually have Ravens on the field. Wow! So Ravens coming out. Finally the Roaches are coming out as well. He is producing 1 more Raven, building a sensor tower too, just to make sure that he can actually see what's coming in. And yeah, that gives him a little bit of a warning when a new army is coming in. And as you can see, now he can see where the enemies are, and he sees from the amount of them what kind of units they are. And the fungal growth goes down, but it is not going to be enough. That was a very good follow-up. Another fungal growth, and not doing a whole lot of damage, but still it is a pretty decent amount of damage. Fungal growth does more damage to armored units than to light units, so even though it is effective against these Hellions, it is not super effective. These Thors, of course, well, seeing how big they are armored, and they are going to wow, they're going to all get killed here. Lots of Roaches out now, and the Roaches are of course very good against those large units, those units that normally deal with armored units. Oh, sorry, with light units. And yeah, also with armored units, I guess, because the roaches just can take a whole lot of damage and then regenerate them or that damage and run back in. So the whole bunch of roaches and everything, infestors, infested Terrans, everyone is just running into this base and getting a whole lot of damage off. And that is of course awesome sauce. That is exactly what you want as a Zerg player. You want to do that damage with your large army and then well, push into the undefended bases. This base is pretty much undefended as well. There are of course some SCVs out, and it is a planetary fortress, but the planetary fortress is not going to stand up to this amount of roaches, even with some help of the repairs, and all of these mules are going to get killed. And he is even bothering to pick off the refineries. And yeah, the refineries will go down. A new fight going off over here. A few banshees out. Well, one banshee and I guess a raven. Actually building some more banshees here. The banshees out, that means that yeah, he's actually trying to fight the ground units with his air units instead of building a ground army of his own, because banshees of course do a large amount of damage to units that cannot attack back. And let's see, the Banshee actually does 12 damage to any unit. Well, not to flying units of course, because it can't attack flying units. But yeah, that's a pretty decent amount of damage. The Seeker missile up and running. And yeah, the Seeker missile is very effective against clumped up units such as the infestors here. If he brings all of these infestors, they can all die instantly because they have 90 health and the Seeker missile does 100 damage. So if you clump them up and the Seeker missile strikes in the middle, then all of them are going to die. It is of course a very slow projectile, and if you can run ahead of it for 15 seconds, it will not do anything. But yeah, the way it works is most of the times it will hit slow moving units such as the infestors. And as you saw already, there was some kind of new unit coming in, and it is a Brute Lord. It might have been what's it called, Overseer, but it is actually going to be a Brute Lord. So I don't know how many he has. 2. So a drop coming in over here, not a huge amount of damage done. It's very hard to spot these red units on the purple creep, however. So it's kind of unfortunate. No, nobody has other colors. It seems that most players are just going for the standard colors, which are blue and red. Which kind of makes me sad, because the blue is kind of hard to spot on some maps, and the red is hard to spot on the creep when it's only one unit. Of course, a large group of units such as this one is very easy to spot just about anywhere, but yeah, the single units are really hard to spot when their color is close to a color in the map. And wow, he is gathering up a whole bunch of units. All kinds of units incoming, and yeah, we will have to see what actually happens here. The sensor tower is out, so he does know there are units over there. Suicides in some of the Hellions, and actually manages to pick off some units, get some fungal growth out, but there are so many infestors. Seems that yeah, the entire Terran army is coming in. Wow, and these are so many infested Terrans. That is incredible. I've never seen that many. And are they going to win this fight though? I'm not really sure. They are light units, so the Hellions will do extra damage to them, and in fact they were not that effective. They did pick off some units, but not enough, I feel, to well, to actually, well, scare the Terran army away. The Terran army is still moving forward, and he did lose quite a lot of units there. But yeah, he is still pushing into this base, and wow, is actually getting a lot of damage done on these Thors. The Thor's not really effective. And another Thor bites the dust. No repairs coming in. You can repair the Thors quite efficiently. And an auto turret going down. The auto turrets, of course, are very good against units. Well, when they can see them, but well, that's it. I mean, the auto turret could see the units, but not the other way around. And of course, that makes it a very good thing to do, because, well, as long as the auto turrets can shoot, they do a lot of damage. But yeah, they get sniped pretty easily. So you need to protect them or put them on top of a ridge like that, like he did there. So it seems that yeah, the Ultralisks have come out, and Ultralisks, of course, the ultimate weapon in the Zerg arsenal. They are going to do a lot of damage, but yeah, lifting up that command center will do pretty nicely against the Ultralisks. Not against the infested Terrans, of course, because the infested Terrans can still kill this command center. And yeah, lots of infestors, man. So a drop coming in here. Two dropships or medevacs full of units. They do snipe one of the hatcheries, and then they get out of there, because there are no air units except for those infested Terrans that get produced by the infestors. Sniping another hatchery here, but this is going to cost him a lot of these units, and yeah, he is going to lose some of them over there. Another drop coming in over here, and yeah, there are the anti-air units. The Corruptors getting quite a lot of damage done to those medevacs instantly, and the medevacs get killed pretty easily. Not losing another hatchery, but yeah, at least the Terran got something done there. A new hatchery coming up. He's kind of pissed that that Terran built so slow compared to Zerg. Zerg army can be replenished instantly, and yeah, that's the way, that's the way it goes. Because with the Zerg, as long as you have resources available, you can use all of your hatcheries to produce units instantly, and just suicide all of your units in, kill the Terran army, and then rebuild with a whole new base or with a whole new army, and just get a whole lot of things done. Dropping a whole lot of these auto turrets here, which are really good at doing damage to the drones, but yeah, they cannot be targeted, or at least they weren't targeted here. And one of the Vikings is going to make it out, but oh, the rest... No, no, he has one of them on the low ground. Oh man, he could only see that one. And just got really lucky with his, I guess, splash damage. So yeah, sniped a whole lot of them there. So still a large amount of these infestors on the field. The infestors, of course, are very good against most of the units that the Terran is producing, because, well, you can just use that fungal growth over and over and over again. So the auto turrets this time doing a little bit of damage to the hatchery, but it will survive that easily. It's only 200 damage. It will regenerate. And just a whole bunch of these Ultralisks coming out. Yeah, we need tanks on the Terran side, and well, he's building Thors to deal with the air units, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what the Ravens are for. I guess they would be for. Why is he he's scanning to see where the enemy army is? But he has the detectors here, because the Ravens are detectors, as you can see. They can see the creep tumors, And there are some Ultralisks. The Ultralisk is going to get sniped by these Banshees. But wow, look at that fungal growth. That is going to do so much damage. And yeah, all of the units melting instantly. But, well, he still has some Thors available. He still has some Ravens. And he has a lot of these Banshees, although all of them are about half health. And even under that, most of them are under that, in fact. And yeah, he is going to snipe this entire base with just his Banshees. Wow. If he can protect those, then he will do a very good job. He has some Marines here to protect against the air, against these air units. The Corruptors are of course the bane of any flying unit, except for the Vikings, because the Vikings can do very well against them. And the Marines are just there to take the hits in case someone needs to take hits. But picking off a lot of the mining bases. This one is still mining, but I think that's the only one. This one's mined out, and mined out. So he only has one base left. And yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of minerals left in the bank. Oh man, he needs to bring some SCVs to the front to repair these Banshees, because the Banshees are all going to die. And if all of the Banshees die, then he is screwed. There go the Banshees. So, didn't repair them. And I guess he's just willing to trade his army for the army of his opponent. And going to snipe these Broodlords. But are they going to die? That's the big question, because no, they are not going to die. Yeah, the Broodlord's just too strong for the Thors, especially with that heal from the Queens. The transfusion is just too powerful, and the Terran player is going into well, small units again. So he is building all kinds of these small, easy to produce units, and wow, wiping out those two. And nicely done there. But yeah, he is going into the small units again to make sure that that he can keep picking off these bases. He knows that as long as the Zerg player cannot build these bases, it is pretty much impossible for the Zerg player to win, because this long-range mining is not going to do it. The Broodlords are coming out here, and he's building some more. Broodlords are of course going to do very well against all of the ground units. But yeah, a few Vikings and that will be all over. And Vikings can be produced 2 at a time out of starports with a reactor on them, but he doesn't have any. All of his starports have the reactor on them, making them able to produce Banshees, which was what he was doing before. And currently has ship weapons level 2. So yeah, lots of units on the Terrans, or on the Zerg side. Yeah, he has 10 Broodlords, some Corruptors, some Infestors, though most of his Infestors died. 72 Marines, 3 Thors. That is going to be very entertaining to watch here. The Marines, of course, are very weak against the Infestors, but very strong against these Broodlords, because the Broodlords really can't do that much against this large grouping of Marines. They can pick them off 1 by 1, maybe even 2 by 2. But yeah, if the Marines just stim and run in underneath them, they will all die. So this base is coming back up. Is there another base coming up? Nope, so far so good. For the Terran player, that is. And yeah, dropping down some of the auto turrets to get rid of the creep tumors as well as the Overlord. But the creep tumors are apparently the thing to snipe for the moment. And he is going for the Overlord now. Just boxing in the Overlord with these auto turrets. And because he can't target them, he will have to wait until everything dies. I'm not sure if you can't target them, or if it's just a matter of him not wanting to spend his APM on that. His APM, his actions per minute, is kind of the, well, the amount of things you do in, well, in the game, in time. I guess APM is a pretty common term. I don't really need to explain that. Oh, and the Marines are going to now come in, but they're going to get fungal growth if there was... yeah, there's the fungal growth going down. It doesn't catch a whole lot of them. And these infestors are going to have to save themselves. But a lot of things going down. I don't know. Oh, that was the Seeker missile. The Seeker missile finally hitting and getting a lot of damage done. And yeah, because he can't farm anymore, he has to give up. His base here got sniped as well. I didn't have time to go over there because this fight was way more important. But yeah, the macro from the Terran player, the amount of units he could produce was good enough to actually push the Zerg away from this base and this base and this base. And now from this base as well. Sorry, this base as well. And he was moving in on this base, which was kind of mined out pretty far already. And the Zerg just didn't see it working anymore. And had to give up. So, a little more exciting match this time, a little bit longer, and as you can see, yeah, the Zerg army was completely gone. He didn't have enough to replenish it to a decent strength. He did, of course, have enough of these larvae to make a huge army, but yeah, you have to have minerals and gas as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG!